Hello, it's me again with that frustrating, weird voice of mine. It's the Canadian Grand Prix starting in a few moments. I am going to try and do several segment videos, so several videos of a few minutes each, and then what I'll do is stitch them all together after the Grand Prix. If I am, never mind, and that will I'll stitch them together using the YouTube editor and try and create a giant reaction video. It will fail massively, but we'll see what we can do. And in a few weeks, it's the Saturn Awards, which are the blockbuster equivalent awards, blockbuster Oscars, if you like. Back to you in a minute. Right, the formation lap has started, so in about 3 minutes' time, the race will be underway. Last year's Grand Prix was very exciting, because, well, around that 45 out of 70, both Mercedes cars leading by a massive margin. Suddenly suffer ERS issues, they're losing 1 to 2 seconds left, and I'm like, oh shit! All the other midfield cars are closing in on them. It's going to be a topsy-turvy result. And ultimately, Perez looked like he was going to take the win in the Force India. And then, of course, mayhem ensued in the final laps. And it was actually, although Ricciardo won, which was really good, it was a fairly average result. The Red Bulls are on the podium, which was the norm for much of the year. Rosberg was second. So ultimately, despite being a really awesome race, the final outcome wasn't that great, which is sad. I mean, we've only had 2 teams on the podium so far this year, which has made it really mundane. And I bet you Kimi is going to be third behind the 2 Mercedes if all goes well, because every race this year, even Monaco, has had a largely ordinary result. Okay, the Red Bulls were right behind Vettel in Monaco. Behind Hamilton in Monaco. See, this is how predictable it is. Vettel's normally just third, straight, just like that. It's so boring and predictable. Hopefully it won't be today, but same results happen every race after all. Pastor Maldonado, has retired in every race bar one. For once, he's actually driving well, but instead, he's retiring because the car keeps failing him, or something just keeps going wrong. And the accidents he's had this year aren't entirely his fault, except for the pit lane incident in China. And he's had loads of problems. I mean, I was so hoping in Monaco he would finish the race, and then when he retires, I was really upset. That really soured the race for me until Verstappen crashed and the pit stop incident happened. Right now, the cars are on the grid, so the top 6 on the grid is Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg, Kimi Raikkonen, Valtteri Bottas, Romain Grosjean, Pastor Maldonado. And then we've got 2 Red Bulls and 2 Force Indias behind them. Vettel's down in 18th. If he gets third in the Grand Prix, I'd be really pissed. Because if the top 3 is the same, despite Vettel starting all the way back, that would be really horrible. I've just got to get my music set up for the start of the race. It's Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. I know, predictable. But it's my kind of thing, so it'll work. I'll load it quick because the race will start in like 30 seconds from now. My heart's really beating now before we go in Montreal. Good. And we're already going. The lights are on. Go! And Lewis has made a great start. Rosberg's right behind him, and Raikkonen will go down the inside into turn 1. Can he make it stick? No, he's got to try around the outside. And wow. So Hamilton leads Rosberg, Raikkonen, Bottas. There aren't really any position changes so far. We've got Force India going down the outside of someone into the second chicane. Yeah. So behind the top 3, one of the Lotuses has lost a place. It's Maldonado. He's dropped to 7th behind Hulkenberg. So it's Hamilton, Rosberg, Raikkonen, Bottas, Grosjean, Hulkenberg, Maldonado, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Perez. Vettel's up to 16th. And Massa's up to 15th. In general, everything seems to be going well. No incidents. Looks like a clean start to the race, unlike last year. And we've already got yellows in Sector 2 for some reason, yet everyone's safely gone through. There isn't anyone setting slow sector times or dropping back. In general, I think everything's going okay. Oh, Vettel tapped the back of a Sauber from the looks of things in the hairpin. He might not have damaged his car, but still, that's a surprise. So yep, as I imagine, the 2 Mercedes are leading the rest of the field. and I'll change stream, as in live stream. So it's Hamilton, Rosberg, Raikkonen, Bottas, Grosjean, Hulkenberg. Yep, same order. Alonso's 11th, Massa's 13th. He's got another couple of places. Vettel's still 16th, and we've got Jenson Button in the pits serving a drive-through because, it's because of he had loads of technical failures. Didn't take part in qualifying. He's changed units, all kinds of things. So he's just got to serve a drive-through on the first lap. So his race is essentially wrecked, and we're on board with Vettel on the TV, trying to overtake a Sauber. Don't know who it is, especially since I've turned my live timing off. Oh, the live stream is so laggy, it plays for like 10 seconds and keeps freezing. And what's really bad is that the lag keeps getting worse and worse and worse, which is unbelievably frustrating. There's no other way to describe it. Lap 4 now. Oh! Vettel's trying to overtake Alonso here. It's towards the end of the lap. He's up to 14th now. Yeah, 14th. And the cars ahead of him are actually pulling away. So Vettel, unsurprisingly, gets past Alonso because he's got the much more powerful engine down the straights. Rosberg sets fastest lap of 1:19.0. So that's Vettel into 13th, I believe. Yeah, 13th. And it's still Hamilton leading Rosberg, but only by about 1.5 seconds. Massa's trying to get past Marcus Ericsson's Sauber as well. So yeah, it's quite the field settled down. There's sadly not really been any incidents. Well, I'm not saying that incidents are good, but they always make the races interesting. We've got a replay here, so yeah, everyone made good starts in general. No one made a poor start. And the Marussias always make dreadful starts. Like going into the first corner, they're always in last place, and then they just stay there, dropping down to like 30 seconds after a few laps and so on. Massa trying to overtake Ericsson here. We're on board with him. I love the Williams' appearance on board. It has such a sleek design with the nose cone being so low and everything. And yeah, he's just trying to go around the outside of Ericsson. This is for 11th. Remember, Massa, of course, crashed into Perez or whatever at the end of last year's race. Oh, that's cool. The World Feed Directors change. What they normally do when they want to change from the onboard of one car to another is they normally go off-board to something else, an external camera, trackside, and then cut to another onboard. What they've done is just gone straight from onboard to onboard. But they've done it with such a neat editing technique that it makes it cool looking and doesn't feel bland and crude and ineffective. You guys don't know what I mean, but it's all part of the filmmaking business. He's still stuck. Yeah, they're all stuck behind Ericsson. Ericsson's being a great roadblock. Then this is costing Vettel and Massa, who I think a few more people would be expected to be well up by now, but they're still stuck behind Ericsson. And this is lap 8, and he's actually built up a huge gap over everyone. This is surprising. Oh, Massa got quite out of shape. Where's Vettel gone? Vettel's gone in the pits. Yeah, Vettel's pitting already. It's lap 8. It's the end of lap 7 for Vettel. He's already in the pits. What's happened? They're changing tyres. Oh, this is a long stop. Uh-oh. Yep. Oh, he's away. I thought he was retiring. He's 6.6 seconds, so he's fallen to dead last place. This is disastrous for Vettel. Well, unless there's a safety car, he's not going to be on the podium this afternoon for sure. That's still stuck behind Ericsson. Who's fastest in each of the sectors? Oh, fucking lag. It's Hamilton in all 3 sectors so far. He's been on it. Oh my god, Massa's side by side with Ericsson. He's just got past. They were literally touching. Massa's front left wheel touched Ericsson's side pod, and they could have had a bit of an accident. And thankfully, Massa got past. That was so scary. Just as I started the recording, Massa was actually going through down the inside of the like turn 4, I think. Wow, that was really intense. So Massa's actually making ground. Vettel, with that slow pit stop, is screwed. So well, if Raikkonen finishes third, it will still be a boring race. But this has been an interesting Grand Prix so far. However, we badly need a safety car. Whoa, Massa came in way too hot into turn 2. He could have just crashed into the side of Ericsson. And they did touch, wow. I don't think that caused too much damage though. Okay, Massa has passed Ricardo and Perez now. He's up to 9th already, and his lap times are, if only this live stream had good quality, damn it. Massa is lapping in the, in the 119s, and he's actually lapping faster than the cars ahead, so Massa's really flying through the field here. It's really surprising and positive. Like, he was stuck behind Ericsson for a few laps, and then once he got past him, it was easy as pie. So it's really surprising. Massa will definitely score points if nothing goes wrong today. In fact, wouldn't it be delicious if he got past teammate Bottas at some point? Sorry for the innuendo. As I expected, Kvyat is already being hounded by Massa, who's really on it. Maldonado is pitting. I think this is to clear Hulkenberg. Wait, did Maldonado pit? As in, did he actually put tyres on? I didn't see that. I think he did. He's dropped into 13th place behind Carlos Sainz, I think. Yeah, he's in 13th. And he was originally 7th, and he's dropped a long way back behind his teammate. In fact, the field spread behind this race is so bad. The pace, the field spread this year is so bad in Formula 1. It explains why no one can beat the Ferraris and Mercedes at all. Already, the Mercedes on lap 18 are lapping the Marussias 1/4 of the way through the race. In theory, they're going to lap them 4 times by the end of the race. That's scary. Although the Marussias are last year's cars, so that explains the deficit. God, I wish they had this year's car. And of course, Grosjean is already 20 seconds behind the race leader, to the point where if Lewis pitted, he'd still be ahead. Mind you, Grosjean might still be able to finish on the podium if he gets his strategy right. It's been going well so far. Vettel's in 16th. So behind the top 6, the same top 6 as before, after lap 1. Kvyat 7th, but under pressure from Massa. Perez is 9th, Ricciardo 10th, Ericsson's 11th, and then Sainz is 12th, and it's Maldonado, Alonso, Verstappen, I believe. Yep. No, Verstappen's got ahead of Alonso. And Vettel is down in 16th, he's right behind Alonso, who was his predecessor at Ferrari. Yes, Jos Verstappen in the Ferrari garage there. I mean, Toro Rosso garage, what am I saying? Soon Max should be in a Ferrari. He doesn't want to stay at Red Bull for much longer. Red Bull's a shithole. Because the management is so harsh. Too harsh for its own good, really. Sorry, I just don't like working in companies with tough discipline like that. Anyway, there have been quite a few more overtakes. Vettel's passed Sainz and Ericsson. Maldonado's up to 11th after his quite early pit stop. Top 6 still run the same, so Lewis Hamilton leads Rosberg, Raikkonen, Bottas, Grosjean, Hulkenberg, Grumble. If you heard any of that, I'll be surprised. Massa 7th. Since he passed Kvyat with ease, his pace has fallen away. He's not falling back, but he has lost a bit of time. He's not really making much more rounds up at all. Top 10 are basically the same. Maldonado will be closing on Ricciardo. He's catching him at about a second a lap. And right now, Vettel is... Actually, I thought Vettel had already passed Ericsson. Well, he's on Ericsson now. And so far, the rookies, or the new guys in F1, Ericsson and co, have made it quite easy. And Ericsson has. Vettel's just passed him into the chicane. And he's going to gain another place. Ricciardo's pitting. So Vettel will be 11th going into the 24th lap of the race. Raikkonen spun it! Raikkonen spun it! He's spun at the hairpin, and already, look, even the Marussias are on his tail now. The Marussia's trying to unlap itself from the Ferrari. Yeah, Kimi Raikkonen just spun. In fact, he had such a big amount of wheel spin. He pulled up so much rubber. The cloud of smoke still present after like 20 seconds as he goes through. And Grosjean's just pitted, but that was unnecessary from Raikkonen. That's spiced the race up a little as well, because now that could give Bottas a chance at the podium now, which would be awesome, because as I said earlier, just 2 teams on the podium this year so far. Are you kidding me? Here we go. What did he do? I think he put too much traction out of the... Yeah, he just put too much throttle out of the hairpin. The car couldn't handle it, and he just spun it. And in fact, he spun the wheel so much, it burned so much rubber, it produced this enormous pool of smoke. And he actually spun at the hairpin last year in the race as well. And that was a miserable year for Raikkonen. Midway through, everyone was like, "Get out, Kimi!" They were all saying, "Get out of Formula One, you don't belong here anymore." And then this year, he's proving everyone wrong, just about. Grosjean's pitted, so Maldonado is now just behind him, and Vettel's just behind the pair of them. So net, I guess Vettel's now got up to like 7th place, I guess. Bottas is in the pits. Now I wonder, let me just see, I'll carry on with this segment. Bottas is pitting from 3rd place. And will he stay there actually? That'd be interesting. It's possible. Everyone's pitting now, so Hulkenberg is also in. So any chance of a jumbled up race order is done at the moment. But let's see. I want to see if Raikkonen, Bottas. Yeah, Bottas did jump Raikkonen in the stops according to the driver tracker. He is ahead, which is quite cool actually. So net, Bottas is in 3rd, and Raikkonen once again makes a mistake which compromises his weekend. Either he has a strong race and qualifies poorly, compromising track position, or he has a decent qualifying but makes mistakes in the race which cost him a good result. Mind you, that hasn't really happened, but it's happened here. And he is now 4 seconds behind Bottas. And on worn tyres, having thrown away a lot of the grip at the hairpin. Lewis Hamilton pits for Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton is under pressure from Rosberg now. The gap is just 1 second. And on the last lap, Rosberg was a whole second faster than Hamilton. I don't know if Hamilton's got a problem or not, but this is interesting. He's lost a lot of ground to Rosberg. Bottas is 3rd, of course. Raikkonen 4th. Massa's yet to stop, he's 5th. Grosjean 6th. Under pressure from Vettel, of course, because Vettel's in a much faster car, as it will be for the rest of the year. Maldonado's 8th. Hulkenberg's 9th. Kvyat's 10th. Verstappen's 11th. Oh, for God's sake, the lag. So what it's doing is it's playing for a quarter of a second and then freezing for like 10 seconds. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but it's that annoying and it's pissing me off a lot. Perez has just passed Verstappen. He's in 11th now. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton is definitely struggling at the moment. He matched his teammate in the 1st sector. Rosberg went a little bit faster in the 2nd sector. But otherwise, I think, the gap's maintained, but I was just wondering, Lewis might be having a problem. I don't know what will happen now, but... oh wait, Lewis has just set a personal best lap. Oh man. Bottas, Raikkonen, Massa, Grosjean, Vettel, Maldonado, Hulkenberg, Kvyat, the top 10. Right, so Maldonado is pressuring... What's this? This is Massa under pressure from Grosjean and Vettel. Vettel passed Maldonado a while ago. So for 5th place, Massa is 5th. He's yet to stop though, obviously on a 1-stop. Grosjean is right behind him, and so is Vettel, and Grosjean's gone straight past Massa on the back straight. Mercedes engine versus Mercedes engine. He's got through into 5th. Vettel's gone in the pits. He's disappeared from the screen, but Vettel's gone in the pits because he stopped on like lap 8, or lap 7. So obviously the tyres won't last. So what's he switching to now? Another set of soft tyres, the harder compound for this weekend. So it's like he might be trying to go until the end. So Vettel drops to 9th place. He'll be lapping pretty quickly since he has the freshest rubber on the grid. And that leaves Massa as the last car to stop. And the Verstappen's yet to stop. And Roberto Murray's yet to stop too. And that traffic won't have helped him. Well, Vettel's tucked right behind Hulkenberg at the moment. Yeah, he's been tucked behind him for a couple of laps, but he can't get past. The Ferrari engine's it's just as powerful as the Mercedes, but he hasn't got a true straight line advantage at the moment. And anyone who has a good straight line speed advantage in Montreal is going to be king. I'm just looking at the clock here. So the race did start at 3 minutes past the hour. It's very interesting. The race itself never starts at a fixed time. The formation app does. It always starts normally at the top of the hour or half past the hour. And the formation app takes however long the driver wants to do it. And then the grid formation can take however long the driver wants it done, whatever. And Vettel is on the back straight in a prime position to overtake Hulkenberg. And he's right behind him. And he's going to try and go down the outside. Oh! Hulkenberg spun in the wall! Oh, no. Hulkenberg spun. There was contact. And Hulkenberg looked like he went the wrong way down the track. In fact, he might have just gone in the pits. Oh, wow. And away he goes. There won't be a safety car, but there was definitely contact between Vettel and Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's car doesn't look too badly damaged, but that was a bit of an incident. And he's lost a place to Massa. So Hulkenberg's dropped back. He's lost a few points for Force India. Perez is down in 11th behind Kvyat. So it hasn't been a great race so far. Let's hear Vettel's radio. Oh wait, I can't, because if I unplug it the microphone won't work. So this dilemma I have. So I can't hear what he's saying. The car does look like it's okay though. I don't see that much damage. The front wing does look a little ajar though. Let's see this again. And hopefully we'll get an on-board perspective too. So Vettel was going around the outside of Hulkenberg. And then he just tipped Hulkenberg into a spin because the cars are so sensitive. Pitch sensitive. With no traction control they can be really hard to drive. And Hulkenberg just spun just like that. It's really easy. Martin Brundle one time said, at speed you could just push a car into a spin with your hand, frankly. And that's a really powerful statement. That probably is true. And Hulkenberg just spun around. I so thought he was going to end up in the Wall of Champions and bring up the safety car. And there he goes, going the wrong way down the racetrack. That's a risky thing to do. Maldonado did that in qualifying yesterday. And he could well have got a penalty. Thankfully he didn't, because that would have ruined his weekend. And once again, Rosberg closing the gap to Hamilton. It's now exactly 1 second. Wow. I will try and see what the verdict was on that incident, because no doubt it will be under investigation by the stewards. Alonso's out. Alonso retired. He's gone into the garage. That's like his 4th retirement this year in 6 races. It's been a dreadful season for McLaren. Thank God they got a points finish in Monaco. So they've got something on the board, but this has been a truly regretful season. Worse than basically anything they've had so far. Even in 2009 they had a few decent results early on in the year. And then they had a lean spell, and then they successfully upgraded the car. And this is the 2nd time in 3 years McLaren has had a tough start to the year. And in 2013, I think a lot of people, including myself, thought, they'll go back to their winning form later on in the year. But they didn't. They just remained stagnant the whole year through. And they've just, ever since Lewis Hamilton left, ever since McLaren were no longer the leading Mercedes-powered team, things have been going so wrong for them. No further action taken between Vettel and Hulkenberg. It looks like they've treated it just like a racing incident, but that has cost Hulkenberg some time. His lap times are reasonable. Fastest guy on the racetrack right now is it's Vettel and Massa. Vettel's fastest in the 117s. Massa's a couple of tenths slower than him. The Mercedes are both lapping in the low 118s. And are separated by just 1.2 seconds, so it's still going well for the Silver Arrow cars. There's just a cool shot there because there's a camera right next to a marshal's head, and it zooms out. And it's that's quite cool because F1 are trying to take this approach where they're showing they're using camera angles which you would normally see if you were there for real in the grandstands. You don't understand what I said there, but it's just like they're putting cameras in the grandstands at the side of the track, filming the cars as you would see it in real life if you were there, and that adds to ultra realism. And I like when any kind of TV company or film company or director or whatever uses techniques like that. Well, feed's been decent. Mine's been pretty crap. Rosberg, oh, he went wide at the hairpin. That will have cost him. Didn't cost him that much relative to Hamilton, but Rosberg has been struggling into the hairpin. He did make a big mistake earlier on. Yeah, he'll be okay. But that has compromised him a little. And so far in the race, Ferrari are fastest in all three sectors. This has been an interesting race for the Ferraris. Neither of them are in the top three. Raikkonen he's gained on Bottas, but he might still get that podium. But at the moment, Bottas is safely in third place at the moment. Depends on whether Raikkonen's tyres can last. And Vettel is 7th. He's not going to get a penalty, but he's stuck. Well, he's not stuck, but he's mired in 7th place. And Grosjean, I think, is in the pits. No, Grosjean's come in unexpectedly. Oh, here we go. Grosjean's come in, and looks like he came in and they didn't realise he was there. Oh no! More points lost for Lotus. This is disastrous. And, oh, is it the same for Marussia as well? Because looks like one of the drivers has come in unexpectedly as well. Oh, it's, I don't know who it is, actually. Oh, wow, it's all going off here. Grosjean, the Lotus team, have made a massive mistake. What's happened? So you've got a replay here. Grosjean laps the Marussia. Oh, they touched! They touched! The Marussia clipped the back of Grosjean. Grosjean might have got a puncture. Let's see. My screen's really tiny. It's no bigger than a phone screen. Yeah, he definitely got a puncture for sure. Grosjean felt it. He went in the pit. Smart guy. Went in. And it completely caught both teams out by surprise. That's a clumsy mistake. I don't know whose fault that was, but that's wrecked Grosjean's race. He's down in the 11th place, so it's going to be a lot harder for him to score points. It's all down to Maldonado now, who's running 5th. Oh, I can't hear anything because if I unplug, the only way I can hear anything from my computer is if I unplug the microphone because of the audio settings, which I don't know how to master yet. I'm very practical at the moment, aren't I? Stupid incident for Grosjean though. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Sainz has got past Ricciardo. Yes, because oh my woo high pitched sound there. That was a bit weird. Sainz passing Ricciardo there. Wow, that's 12th place for the for my namesake Toro Rosso driver. The problem is that Ricciardo has lost another place. Ricciardo's had a shit race. There's another way of saying it. Shit. He's down in 13th place, and this is the race he won last year. His maiden win in arguably the best race of the year last year. This is terrible for what's his name? For Ricciardo. Grosjean's got a penalty, so yet again Lotus compromised the race. They haven't had a single race this year where both drivers have successfully done well. In Australia, both cars retired in the first lap due to separate problems or incidents. In Malaysia, Grosjean had a collision with the Force India and his pace was poor anyway. Maldonado retired. In China, Maldonado retired. Grosjean actually did score points, but I still feel like it could have been better. Same with Bahrain. Grosjean had a good start, but once again, it wasn't that great. And we're on board with Grosjean here. He's having a look down the inside of Perez into the chicane. It's lap 56 at the moment. And he didn't make it through, of course. And there's a radio transmission with Bottas, but I don't know what it means. Bottas, of course, in 3rd place. I don't know whether, because Raikkonen might be going to the end, and if Bottas has to stop again, that's once again going to mean another pit stop for the Lotus driver, for the Williams driver, and he'll lose the podium. So yet another race where Mercedes and Ferrari lock it out. This is getting really shit. Maldonado always under pressure from Vettel here. And Vettel's just going to go clean round the outside. It's 5th place. So yet another race where Lotus get compromised. They're both either their cars suffer mechanical failures or their drivers get caught up in incidents. One or the other. Or both drivers have incidents. Or in Monaco, for example, Maldonado had a mechanical problem and Grosjean got caught up in a collision. It wasn't entirely his fault. But to be honest with you, it wasn't like he couldn't have avoided it. Mind you, that was more Verstappen's fault. So yeah, I'm on this website called F1 Rejects, and they every race they nominate and award a driver or anybody. It can be anything from like a a man waving a flag at last year's Chinese Grand Prix, and they can award them rejects of the race. And to be honest with you, reject of the race so far has got to be Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, Grosjean maybe for compromising his race with that incident with the Marussia, he's got a penalty for that now. McLaren for being anonymous again. This is a repeat of Spain. Oh wow. But Ricciardo won last year, but he's had a really bad race in a Red Bull. This was the car that dominated 2 years ago. This year they're 9th and 13th. And well, this is the most rejectful Red Bull have been in at least 6 or 7 years. This is incredible. There's a dozen laps to go. Jensen Button's out. Both McLarens retire, so we might have another contender for rejects of the race now. It's McLaren. Both cars out, and amazingly, they're the only 2 retirements in the race so far. That is really bad. But our website has given, well, the website I am a forum member on, gave McLaren rejects of the race in Spain because they held so much promise going into that weekend and then they got nothing out of it. Button, easily the slowest car bar the Marussias, and Alonso, who could have scored points, had a mechanical problem. So yeah, another race where McLaren fuck up. This is dreadful. This is a dreadful race for McLaren here. As Vettel, I see on the onboard feed, he's waving his arm as he gets past a Sauber. I think that's Nasser, who's had a dreadful race. He's last here, bar the 2 Marussias at the moment, in 16th. Terrible day for them. Ericsson's not doing too well either. He's 14th and he's holding off Verstappen. So yeah, it's been quite, again, none of the teams like Sauber and Sauber and Toro Rosso are now becoming occasional point scorers rather than regular point scorers. Of course, Toro Rosso have dreadful reliability, especially on Verstappen's behalf. He's only had 1 points finish so far this year, and that was in round 2 in Malaysia. He would have scored in Australia. He would have scored in China for sure had the car not failed at the last seconds. And although he finished Spain, he was like 11th or 12th or something. Monaco he would have scored had he not misjudged that pass on Grosjean. This season has been full of ups and downs, and well, Maldonado is still yet to finish a race, so if he retires in the next 10 laps, wow, that would seal a dreadful afternoon for him. And a lot of other drivers done well. So yeah, 3 drivers keep on retiring and failing to score points. Alonso, Maldonado, and Verstappen, which is really sad and frustrating. Maldonado is still 6th though, so he's still in with a chance of points, 8 of them. But of course, it's not going well. It's not going well for many people. I don't know. I've run out of things to say at the moment. I'll check on you in a bit. Here we go. Massa has just passed Maldonado. I was preparing my recording in reaction to seeing it might happen, and just as I start the recording, Maldonado's passed. He's now down to 7th place now. So he's gone from 5th to 7th. He's lost a few more points. So once again, Lotus is still yet to get the top 6 finish. At this rate, under the old point system, they wouldn't have scored a point yet. Red Bull have done it. I don't think Force India have done it though. They've come close in a few races. And right now, Grosjean is onto the back of Kvyat. Yeah, and Sauber, of course, would have scored points under the old system. Not the old system, by what I mean, as in back then when only the top 6 got points, but up to and including 2002. And Grosjean is attacking Kvyat for the penultimate points position, 9th, 2 points. Roberto Merri's retired, by the way, in the Marussia. So that's 3 retirements. This is really scary. Once again, another race where there's hyper reliability, and it's frustrating because it's one of the reasons why Formula 1 sucks generally, because the cars are so reliable. Such as the power units were only 4 power units a year now. That's all, the team's like, oh shit, we're going to get penalised if we don't get that attained. So we've got to build super reliable engines, and that's what they've mostly done. And that means there's a lack of unreliability. Last year at this race, the number of mechanical failures and incidents meant only like 13 cars finished out of 22. No, only 11 actually crossed the line. 13 were classified. So in general, that's the kind of race we should be having more often. Or what really needs to happen with Formula One is we need to have more races, say like Australia, every 4 to 5 races, I guess. That would help. That would increase the spectacle. But because all the races are super reliable, generally, it's not good. Mind you, it's not as bad as a couple of years ago where only one car would retire on average, and that was even worse. My BBC live stream is lagging again. Can't believe it. It's been really shit so far. The quality of the stream, as we see, there's a slow-mo here of Lewis Hamilton locking up. He's 1.4 seconds ahead of Rosberg. Looks like Rosberg will win this one. Will finish behind Hamilton on this one. Well, if Rosberg did beat Hamilton, that would be disastrous for the reigning champion, but great for the championship because it closes it up, and Rosberg would be 3 points behind Hamilton going into Austria, where he won last year. So anything can happen, and Austria is a great racetrack. It has some great moments. So Hamilton is ahead of Rosberg. Bottas, provided he doesn't stop again, he's on for that first podium of the year for Williams. So finally the streak is broken. At least Canada has something positive. Raikkonen's 4th. That spin really did cost him. Vettel will be 5th, which is good considering where he started. Massa's 6th. He got past Maldonado 7th. Then it's Hulkenberg, Kvyat, Grosjean, and with that 5-second penalty, Grosjean is going to finish ahead of Perez, but he's got to get past the Red Bull of Kvyat pretty soon, or now really, to maintain 9th with the 5 seconds. Then it's Perez, Sainz, Ricciardo, Ericsson, Verstappen, Nasser, and then it's Stevens, Mary, Button, Alonso. Mary, Button, Alonso, the only retirements in this race. So once again, the top 3 teams lock out the top 6 places, but thankfully this time Maldonado looks like he's going to get the result he deserves. Hulkenberg is 8th for Force India, then it's Red Bull. So it's been an interesting race. It's been pretty good, definitely better than Monaco in terms of diversity. After all, we're going to get our first non-Mercedes Ferrari podium of the year, which is great. Still, it would be nice if we had Lotus on the podium, which was what looked like a possibility earlier in the weekend. And this race has been generally weak. I mean, the 2013 race was extremely bad to watch. It was really not much happened at all. Any prospects of a mixed-up grid were gone after the start of the race. That was a shit race. 2011 was great. 2011 was legendary, although the result was a bit, predictable. 2 Red Bulls and a McLaren, really, at the end of an enthralling race. Seriously? 2010 had the fast degrading tyres, so that worked. 2008 had Kubica's maiden win. So generally over the years, virtually most Canadian Grand Prix have been pretty good. To be honest with you, 2015 hasn't been as good as most of the races I've mentioned, but it still had its moments. And the main thing I'll take away from it is Bottas on the podium, hopefully. He's just 6 seconds ahead of Raikkonen, and he's losing time. He's losing a lot of time to the Ferrari, but he should hold on. I hope he gets that podium finish. So yeah, looks like it's going to be a good weekend. And when Red Bull made huge gains on Williams in Monaco, it's going to be the reverse of this in Canada, because at the moment Red Bull might be on for just 1 point, maybe 2 if they're lucky, and Williams have got 3rd and 6th. Looks like a good race for them, and I will catch up with you at the end of the race. Okay, it looks as though Lewis Hamilton's coming down the back straight for the last time. He's lapping Nasser, who is going to go 2 laps down. Stevens is 4 laps down. Yep, the Russia has been well off the pace, but it's last year's car, so you can excuse them. And Lewis Hamilton's going through the final chicane now. Misses the Wall of Champions for the 70th and last time. Lewis Hamilton wins the Canadian Grand Prix. Fantastic. So he increases his lead in the championship by 17 points. Rosberg is going to finish 2nd behind him. And but the best bit is Bottas is going to be 3rd. And this is worth applauding, because Williams have had a difficult start to the year. In fact, Bottas is still yet to go through the final corner. He is that far behind. He was 35 seconds behind Hamilton at the start of the last lap. So I'm just waiting for him to come through now. So yeah, Hamilton's won. That's his 4th win of the year, I believe. And please, come on, show Bottas. Bottas. I think Bottas has already crossed the line, but well done. According to the track map, Bottas has already got 3rd, so well done. Well done. Well done to Valtteri Bottas. That's really great. So Raikkonen was 4th behind those 3. Finally, we have a different podium result this year. Fucking finally. I got really pissed at the mundane quality. Only 2 races so far this year, including this one, where it hasn't been Rosberg, Hamilton, Vettel, or whatever. Vettel 5th, Massa 6th. Maldonado gets points for Lotus, yes, which is fantastic. Hulkenberg got 8th, Kvyat was 9th, Grosjean is 10th, and he'll stay there even with that penalty. Then Perez, Sainz, Ricardo, Ericsson. Ericsson's actually stopped. He might have run out of fuel, and he might actually get penalties, because apparently if you stop because to save fuel after you cross the line, you will get penalised. You might get disqualified for all we know. Verstappen is 5th, Nasser and Stevens fill out the top 2 places. Murray, Button and Alonso were the retirements. What a shame for the McLaren team. They've really had a bad season so far. Luckily they got that points finish, but for Alonso to score no points after a few Grand Prix, this is the worst season he's had since his rookie season in 2001. It's been absolutely appalling. But regardless, it's been an enjoyable weekend. I've got my reset on Tuesday. That should be okay. Just need to do some revision to make sure I've got it all up to date. And as I said, I think it's the 25th when the Saturn Awards take place. If you're interested in those, check out my channel. I will try and do another live stream, once again using the segment technique, and it probably will be quite early on in the morning as well. And I'm looking forward to that, hoping Interstellar sweeps the board as well. That'd be great. It deserves its best sci-fi movie accolade. And well, there are those other films. I haven't seen The Babadook. I'd like to see that do well as also. But yeah, for now, I'll be off. And if you've been watching my videos, thank you. And I will see you all in a few weeks. Bye.